Hello, my name is Catherine Baldwin and I am a love, dating and relationships coach and the author of How to Fall in Love, a 10-step journey to the heart. And today in this video I'm going to be looking at the question of how do I know if he or she is the one? Now, I think it's a great question, even if I do say so myself. I think it's a question that many of us ask, that I certainly asked for many, many years. And that question takes me back to a workshop that I attended run by Marianne Williamson, who many of you will have heard of, I'm sure. And she was talking about love and relationships and lots of other topics, spirituality, self-care. And there were questions at the end, and I, at the time, was in a relationship with my now fiancé, but I was really unsure about whether it was right or wrong or whether he was the one. And I asked Marianne at the end, how do you know? How do you know? And to be honest, I can't actually remember her reply. I remember having tears in my eyes because I was so desperate to know the answer, and I thought in that moment that she had the answer for me. I have subsequently learned that only I have my own answers, and that I believe in sharing with others, I believe in asking for support, I believe in learning from others, but primarily I believe in strengthening our connection to ourselves and to our intuition and developing our emotional maturity so that we are in a place to make that choice for ourselves, and even to make a mistake and get it wrong and come back afterwards and whatever it is. But I believe that we have to make our own choices and if we can make them from a place of wellness, whole, as whole as we can possibly be, then we will make good choices. So let's talk about this idea of the one. I have to say that I don't subscribe to the notion of the one. I believe in being in a place, in a place of emotional maturity, meeting someone to whom I'm attracted, and on the basis of knowing more about them and knowing more about myself and having a good degree of self-awareness and emotional maturity, making a choice to be with that person. And as I choose to be with that person, my love grows and grows and grows. I have a shiny face again today because I'm in front of the window. So the idea of the one, I was just thinking about this after my swim in the sea this morning, which made my entire body tingle. And if you'd like to come and join me swimming in the sea, I'm running a retreat on November the 17th in Dorset. So check out howtofallinlove.co.uk. So I was just thinking about that, you know, the idea of the one when I was swimming. And to be honest, because I am an overthinker, I can get into analysis paralysis. I can try and work it all out. That's who I am. Because of that, it is frankly laughable to think that I would clap my eyes on somebody and know in that moment that he was the one, without any questions or doubts or trying to work it out. It is not feasible for me, for my personality, to do that, to behave in that way. And I think one of my problems that kept me single for many years or out of a committed relationship was that I had watched a lot of Hollywood movies. I was a real romantic, lots of rom-coms, and I believed in, you know, that I would meet someone and I would just know. The other thing is I knew people, I knew women and men who said they just knew, and when they met somebody, so I thought that had to be my experience. Now, that is their truth, that is how they felt. Maybe they had a degree of emotional maturity in that moment. Maybe they don't, you know, overthink like I do. Maybe they don't carry my baggage, emotional baggage, unresolved or partially resolved childhood issues. And that's their truth, and that is wonderful. That is really wonderful if you, at the age of 21, met the one. But to think, knowing myself, to think that that is something that could happen to me it's not feasible. It's kind of laughable that I would suddenly know, because that's not how my mind works. I question, I doubt, I question again, I try and work it out. Would he get on with my friends? What about this, and what about his career, and how do I feel, and all these things. So it's not going to happen like that for me. What was important for me was to reach a stage of self-awareness, personal development, emotional growth, knowledge of my patterns and my blocks, an understanding of my childhood issues, my relationship with my father, how it had affected me when he moved out and my parents divorced, what that brought up in me, the feelings of it was my fault, of abandonment, and that real sense that love thing, to love a man, is incredibly frightening and painful. So why would I do that again? So, I didn't realise it, but the barriers came down, and I would get, I would enjoy men's company, and I would go out with guys, and I would get so close. But the actual commitment bit, where you risk your heart and you say yes and you go for it, was absolutely terrifying for me, because of that experience of risking my heart with my dad, and as a little girl feeling it break. So I didn't know that through my 20s. I didn't know that through my 30s. Maybe in my late 30s I started to understand that through therapy. But, I had to understand what was getting in my way in order to get to a place where I had enough self-awareness, enough emotional maturity, enough knowledge of my baggage and my patterns and my triggers, to be able to see through the mist and the fog and see this person in front of me, and understand that for me it's not about the sort of thunderbolt or the the sort of flash of lightning. That yes, there was an attraction, but there were loads of questions. But for me, it was about getting to the place where, with a degree of health, emotional health, I could look at this relationship and decide to choose to make a go of it. And, I wasn't in love before I made that choice. I made that choice. And as I made that choice and continued to make that choice every day, that's how the love grows for me. So how do you know if he or she is the one? Well, one thing I talk about with the ladies I coach, I have a wonderful, small but growing Love Ladies community, which has a small membership fee, and we discuss these things. So if you'd like to join us, howtofallinlove.co.uk, and click on community. So what I talk about with the women I coach is about, how do you feel when you are with him, or how do you feel when you are with her? What's the feeling? Because for me, I could, as I say, I'm an overthinker. I could try and work it all out. Does he fit into my life plan, into my friendship groups, into my ideas of who I wanted to be with? Does he fit into that? And, really, at the end of it, none of that mattered. It was about how I felt when I was with him, and the fact that I felt held, supported, loved, like I was at home, like I'd come home, like I belonged. And as you will know, relationships aren't all smooth and wonderful. They are, I believe, a choice to stick with it through the difficult days, a choice to accept and love somebody as they are, rather than want to change them into something that they're not. And all these things might sound terribly unromantic and not fit into the Hollywood thunderbolt idea, but I believe the more that we can become conscious of the reality of relationship, the easier it will be to get into a relationship and stay into a relationship. I think another one of my faults was always, if this relationship I was in, if there weren't sort of sparks and fireworks and constant passion, I would assume that he wasn't the one and the one was somewhere over there. So I would keep looking and keep looking and keep looking. That is a classic commitment phobe trait. So, you know, we get so close and then something gets in the way that we don't like, or he exhibits some behaviours that we don't like, or she does, and we think, I'm out of here because there's somebody better. And I talk about this in my book. I talk about the process of the ideal, that image of the ideal, that idea of who we want to be with. We get together and it's honeymoon and it's wonderful, and then there's this stage that's the ordeal, when it's really tricky and when navigating and negotiating boundaries and trying to work out what's acceptable and what's not, and saying what we want and all those things. And that can be the ordeal phase, and it's very easy to leave in that phase. But if we can get through that, we emerge into the real deal, the real relationship. But if we don't get through the ordeal, we'll keep going looking for the ideal. And we'll keep looking for the ideal every time we hit the ordeal stage. So, you know, this is how I feel about the idea of the one. I believe that, yes, find someone to whom you are attracted. Find someone who shares your values. Not necessarily someone who is a carbon copy of yourself, which is something that I was looking for. Same level of education, same knowledge of foreign languages, same life experience, same personality, outgoing, sociable. I was looking for a carbon copy of myself, and that wasn't the person I needed. I needed, as I said in a video the other day, I can be up and down emotionally, and I needed somebody more solid, more secure, more stable than me, and someone who had different life experiences, some similar, some different. We have some different hobbies, some shared hobbies. So find someone to whom you're attracted, not necessarily a carbon copy of yourself. Discern slowly, if possible, discern whether this person is right for you. And I know that's difficult when your hormones are going crazy and you want to, you know, kiss him or jump into bed with him or her. But if possible, gradually discern whether this person is capable of growing with you in a relationship. And if you believe that they are, make a choice to try and grow together into a relationship. And if you can make that choice, then yes, by all means, call him or her the one. And if that's what you would like to do. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do share at the bottom of this video. Do drop me an email, catherine@catherinebaldwin.com. And if you'd like to know more about what I'm doing, check out howtofallinlove.co.uk. Most importantly, right now, I have my retreat. The early bird price is available until the end of tomorrow. So howtofallinlove.co.uk, click on retreat. And my Love Ladies community, if you're single, both for the retreat and for the community, if you're single, you're looking for love, you'd love to have these conversations as part of a supportive, like-minded group of women, then come and join us. And yeah, if you have any questions, do let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.